prepare ye the way of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. And these are the days of Ezekiel, the dry bones becoming his flesh. And these are the days of your servant David, rebuilding a temple of praise. And these are the days of the harvest, for the fields are as white in your world. And we are the laborers in your vineyard, declaring the word of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. There is no God like Jehovah. 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 Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, 'tis the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, 'tis the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, 'tis the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, 'tis the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation comes. Lift your voice, 'tis the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion's hill salvation
Now, before I continue and go with this Bible study and commentary to go any further, I would like to get back to the Genesis gap theory and simply state that the biggest piece of one obvious piece of evidence to support the gap theory is just the logical statement that either there was a gap in the Bible, time gap between Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 and Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, or mankind and the dinosaurs coexisted. And obviously there were dinosaurs that ate meat. I don't want to be too dark or graphic about this. However, people and various other kinds of animals are meat. And humans, at least as they would end up after the fall of mankind, are basically meat. The Tyrannosaurus Rex would not have had any hesitation with eating Adam and Eve for breakfast after the fall. I don't want to beat around the bush, so I will leave it at that. Although there are numerous other more scholarly videos and articles on the internet, and I might eventually get back to that. And so then, what's called the 6-day creation account, where you'll notice God created light before he created the sun, moon, and stars, if you will, if you take this at all literally. To me, however, it is more likely that when God created light, he was simply illuminating the earth in its damaged state with thick clouds of smoke that had been caused by the events that wiped out the dinosaurs, and that I'm convinced there is no way anything would have survived. God thoroughly wiped the slate clean after the events of Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, which would have been the earth with the dinosaurs. Scholars and other scholarly and other articles and videos and such go into more detail about that than I would seek to. Basically, when God said, "Let there be light," he was illuminating his workspace, for lack of a better way to convey the idea. And then, when God created a firmament in the midst of the waters, that ties in with the vapor canopy theory, which I might get into more details about in a later video. Suffice to say, the canopy theory is that there was a vapor, a water vapor layer or something similar to that in the upper atmosphere over the planet Earth, which would have prevented it would have done more to protect the Earth than the ozone layer could do on its own, and would have contributed to a warmer climate around the entire globe, among other benefits that, again, I will probably get into at a later date and time. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide between the waters that were above and below." And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide between the waters and the waters." And he divided between the waters that were under the firmament and the waters that were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament sky. And there was evening and there was morning, the second day. Now, the main reason why the firmament is called the sky is just a lack of knowledge of all of the intricate details about that specific layer of the atmosphere, or rather that one vapor shield in the upper atmosphere. Third day, the ground, the land. And God said, let the waters be gathered together under the heavens and placed into one, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the collection of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. God said that it was good. God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the tree that yields fruit, according to its kind, on in itself, whose seed is in itself, on the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, the herb that yields seed according to its kind, and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide between the day and the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, for days and years. Let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to shine upon the earth." Now, to tie back into the Genesis gap, it's possible that what was happening on the fourth day was that God was still clearing the air, and the air had become clear enough to see the sun and moon and stars and other planets. After the plants had been placed on the earth, like with how if someone was terraforming a planet, which simply means getting it ready to be inhabited and made to be Earth-like, in the case of the Earth itself, restoring this world to a life-sustaining condition, it would have been obvious that the atmosphere had to be cleared and re-oxygenated, which is to say, after the heavy damage was done to the atmosphere, it had to be restored to a condition that could support and sustain life. And the whole idea of stars being for signs and seasons, for days and years, etc., was to say that the stars would send a message to the earth that anyone could understand. It's not to say that they would necessarily rule in the context that modern astrology applies, but that they are used as one method for God to send people messages. I will probably get more in detail on that at a later time. Anyway, and it was so, and God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars and God set them in the firmament of the heavens to shine upon the earth, and to rule over the day and the night, and to divide between the light and the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And it was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. The fifth day, fish and birds. And God said, "Let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth, across the face of the firmament of the sky." So God created great sea creatures, and every living thing that moves, with which abounded the waters according to their kinds, and every bird winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, the 5th day. The 6th day, creatures on the land. And God said, Let the earth bring forth the living creatures living according to its kind, livestock and creeping thing and beast of the earth, each according to its kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its kind, and livestock according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let us make man in our image according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them, and blessed them, and God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of the earth, of all them, and every tree which in it is the fruit of a tree yielding seed to you, which shall be for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the earth, in which it has the breath of life. I have given every green herb for food, and it was so. Now, other versions of the Bible do not say to fill the earth and subdue it, yet to replenish the earth and subdue it. And you can, and it's completely impossible to redo something unless it has been done before. Obviously, the earth had to be filled before it could be replenished. You can't redo something that hasn't been done before. Obviously. God saw that it and God saw that everything he had made, and indeed it was very good. And there was morning, and there was evening, the 6th day. God had restored the earth to a life-sustaining condition, and God had made mankind in his image and after his likeness, which is quite likely to mean that when God first created mankind, God had made an immortal being with mankind to be immortal and with what we would perceive as superpowers. Thank you for watching / listening, and goodbye. Okay, if you couldn't tell right now, I have decided to refer to a different version of the Bible for this video clip. And this time I'm using the amplified version of the Bible, and to be more specific, the amplified classic version. Although at this point I'll say I'm not sure what the difference between a classic and the regular amplified Bible is. However, when reading the amplified version of the Bible, the text within the brackets is not necessarily what the text which is not in the brackets is referring to, nor is it necessarily supported by the normal text. However, things in parentheses are supported and thus meant to add to the normal text. Anything that is in italics was simply added, or was added in the King James Version of the Bible, and is seen as a minor addition. And now that the brief comments about punctuation or how things are broken up or whatever is done, I'll say that where it says God made man in his own image, in his image and likeness, it can be implied that mankind was not created with these frail, and easily damaged bodies that grow old within less than 60 years, and were instead made to have extra-dimensional qualities and superior minds in far greater genetic capacities. At least the two things that I mentioned after the one about the dimensionality comment has some scientific support, which is that most people can only use 8 to 10% of their of what should be the full mental capacity of a human, and 97% of a person's DNA, or very nearly 97% of a person's DNA, is junk DNA, which is only referred to as such because scientists don't know what that DNA is used for. I know I might have already said it, but once again, thank you for watching, and may God bless you. Goodbye. not associated nor am I affiliated with any particular ministry who or which made any music video or other resources, materials, etc. that I have borrowed for use in these videos. I'll not be making any money from any of these videos for that reason. Basically, this should all fall in. That means this should all fall under fair use. I'm not making any money. I'm just borrowing the resources. As long as I don't make any money from it, then it should be fine. And I don't wish to harm anyone. It's either for education, for commentary, or for any of the other numerous reasons that content that is potentially copyrighted can be used without it being a problem. Thank you for watching the video. God bless you. May God bless you. And goodbye.